Oh, hello there. Yes, well, a fresh week begins, indeedy. Yes, anyway, this weekend I was thinking of big picture stuff, big picture stuff, and the way that historical events can shape and alter our perceptions of different people and different places. No one's going to dispute that the events of 1933 to, well, about 1950, if you count the Soviet Union, on the Jewish people had a profound effect upon their worldview, and no one would deny them the centrality of their place in the Holocaust. However, the Holocaust wasn't a uniquely Jewish event. It wasn't even, to a certain extent, a uniquely Western European or indeed an Eastern European event. It was a remarkably big scar in a fairly sizable chunk of the world's population, because if you include China and Japan and all of those other forgotten genocides out there, you arrive at dreadful times that people went through and vowed never to do so again. The problem, of course, is that certain people will seek to think that such times are no longer with us, that we have somehow moved on. I don't believe that that is the case this weekend. We need to sort of think about the events of that kind of 15-year period, in particular of the World War, in the sense of a complete failure of a variety of state conventions and ways of doing things. Yeah, conventional capitalism failed, communism failed, and fascism failed, but ultimately the people that lost in that failure were the ones that always lose, the people at the bottom. And you can think about this as a big picture stuff in terms of, you know, the way that we still live today with those scars of millions of people disappeared or displaced, the fact that Poland is no longer where it used to be, and the Poles are no longer where they used to be, and the Germans are no longer where they used to be, and vast numbers of people are just no longer because entire bloodlines were wiped out. And then you think about the individual costs of this, the individual notions of those people sort of wrapped up in those events, for some of whom did so willingly, unwillingly, or otherwise, because people are motivated by a variety of different goals. And, you know, certainly for me, whenever I see the media, I can see exactly the same types of people involved, those that would have felt a carnival atmosphere when the Einsatzgruppens arrived at their village, because at long last they could get rid of the people they don't like, or those people that just passively went along with things. It was simply the way that the world was going, and I can see a lot of that in our contemporary media, indeed. Or indeed you can just think about it in the human level. I mean, one can always go back to Primo Levi, who put the ultimate human face upon such things and taught us, surely if nothing else, that what we need to do when faced with such barbarity is maintain our humanity. And unfortunately, I don't see a lot of it. I do see a reasonable amount of it amongst certain people, but the meta-narrative we have from our government and from our media leaders is one that they wouldn't mind if certain people weren't here, because that way they can have more. And that's always been, if you like, the problem. In particular, just a razor sharp this one. Ollie London, who managed to post up today in his particularly odious inability to empathise or indeed think through anything, a minor demonstration in America, but omitted to say exactly what the demonstration was about, or indeed why those people were there, or indeed why they felt aggrieved. No. He buys into the idea that there is only one Holocaust, and it happened then, and it's not happening now. Well, I'm not convinced, and unfortunately for Ollie, I'm not convinced that he'll survive. Anyway, do have a lovely Monday if you can. It's going to be a damp one, so yeah. We will see.